Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And even though she hasn't yet admitted that she's going to fight for the position of leader, Kate Forbes is coming under attack by people within her own party for being extremist with her religion. They're moaning about her sex. They're wondering about all sorts of aspects of her character. And it's been described as a sexist witch hunt, which I find ironic. You can't be claiming someone is sexist and then using the word witch. But hey, it is what it is. And they're probably right. It is going after the woman, not after the message. They're not attacking her arguments. I think for many, they're not capable of attacking her arguments. So they attack her instead. This kind of ad hom attack is always the sign of the loser. Indeed, Margaret Thatcher used to say she loved it when people attacked her personally. It meant she'd won the argument. We'll take a quick look at this to see what Kate is receiving and is on the back end of, and why it's probably only going to get worse over the next few weeks, should she decide to stand, rather than just let Swinney be anointed as the new leader of the clones. Let's have a look, see what's going on. So, anger as attacks on Kate Forbes' religion as critics accused of a sexist witch hunt. And the issue came to a head when an article published saying that the Skye, Lochaber and Budnock MSP was unfit to be the First Minister, with one Tory MSP calling the column ghastly. It's amazing how it's even now the Tories are defending Kate Forbes. I think if she became leader and was presented for First Minister, I think the Tories would find her acceptable and would vote her in. And that's a way of getting a leader of the SNP that wasn't beholden to the Greens. And of course the Greens would absolutely hate the idea of not being in control of the SNP. Weird, isn't it? But, yeah, these people are sort of having a go at her. They're having a go at her because of her religion, how it's deemed to be extremist. And yet, strangely, we're quite prepared to accept a man whose own religion says that gay people should be put to death and that women are second-class citizens. And they praise an awful, awful person. It seems very, very weird how there's these two fundamental judgment calls on these two people, one of whom has a far worse religion than the other. Concerns have been raised about the perceived attacks on Kate Forbes' religion ahead of the SNP leadership contest. Now, they're basically using the same opposition, the same arguments they did 14 months ago when she came within a gnat's bollock of winning it. And it was only the combined efforts of everyone in the hierarchy of the party that got Humza Yousaf made into the Grand Mufti of Scotland. And yet he proved to be completely useless, of course. He proved to be a disaster. So maybe it is Kate's turn. Maybe they shouldn't look for a continuity candidate. But they hate the idea of a woman, they hate the idea of a Christian, and they hate the idea of someone sensible. So no, we've got to go with the old man, the old recycled turd that was John Swinney. During last year's battle for Bute House, she admitted she would not have voted for the same-sex marriage due to her beliefs. Exactly the same as what Humza Yousaf did, only he was too frit to say it out loud. He just ran away and pretended to be at a meeting so that he didn't have to vote on it. Because either he voted against his party, naughty, or he voted against his religion, worse. Anyway, the issue was thrust into public consciousness on Wednesday, today, when the Times published an opinion piece by a respected journalist called Kenny Farquharson. He argued the former finance secretary was unfit to be the First Minister and that there was a problem with the way her particular faith intersects with our public polity. Would he be so brave and so manly and so wonderfully woke if he was talking about Humza Yousaf and Humza Yousaf's religion? No, he wouldn't. His tiny little shriveled balls would have went back up inside him rather than say that about Humza Yousaf. But it's okay to attack a Christian woman. What a big man he truly is. And why is this racist piece of filth, Farquharson, allowed a platform? Because to attack anyone on the basis of their religion, saying you're unfit for a role because of your religion is not just offensive. Under the 2010 Equality Act, it's an actual crime. And I hope HM Plod are hot on the heels of Kenny Farquharson, and I hope that there's people out there prepared to sue for it. He has broken the law. To say someone is unfit for a role because of their religion is a crime. Deal with that one, Farquharson. And indeed, I think I may well do so. I may well contact the police and make this complaint. Anyway, he argued that this was this problem and the way her faith intersects with public policy. In other words, what he's saying there is that he doesn't like her view on reality based on her faith. However, he was completely accepting Humza Yousaf's faith. So he's okay with people putting gay people to death. He's okay with treating women as second-class citizens, as he has just done himself. But he doesn't like Christianity. Oh, that's a problem. Seems to have a problem with law as well. He said, what message would a Kate Forbes First Ministership send? That single mothers are sinners, that sex outside marriage is wrong, that ghouls should be allowed to stand in the street outside abortion clinics muttering incantations, that most of us in secular Scotland are going to hell? Well, it's better, I suppose, than saying it's okay to have sex with children, because that man did it. It's okay and better than saying, let's kill gays by throwing them off tall buildings. It's better than saying, hey, women, you're second-class citizens, shut the fuck up. Because that's what the other guy's pushing. And that's obviously what Kenny Farquharson likes. So you have to wonder, does Kenny Farquharson like having sex with children? It's a question that must be asked. He seems very protective of it. He said, what comfort can be drawn from a Forbes First Ministership by gay couples? Well, I think they'd be a damn sight safer under her than under Humza. Just imagine if Humza got his wish and Scotland became a caliphate. Imagine being gay then. Oh dear, be a lot worse, wouldn't it? He says, given that this is a fundamental Christian politician and has said she would not have voted for equal marriage, how secure would gay people feel about their hard-won civil rights? Again, how would gay people feel about a caliphate? Farquharson is up his own Arkerson, isn't he? Forbes has previously indicated she would not let faith impact on public or party policy, and on Tuesday voted in support of a buffer zone around abortion clinics. Farquharson's column was described as ghastly by Tory MSP Murdo Fraser, as I think is Farquharson. And in fact, I'm not going to give Farquharson any more airspace. She's fine. He is, and I'm going to insert a word here, and you know the word. And I'm not going to say the word because I'll be off YouTube quicker than you can flash. But he's like a little piggy. He's a little runt or something. Anyway, I shall finish there. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Sitting there and saying, oh, she's unsuitable because of her religion. Well, let me say this. I look at Humza Yousaf and I say, oh, he's unsuitable because of his religion. I'd have the police at my door. But it's okay because she's only a woman. She's only Christian. It's okay. Kenny Farquharson, you know what you are. We all know what you are. Coming up. These comments show the true nature of the SNP and the left-wing part of that. They show the true nature of the nationalist movement. It's hate, it's loathing, it's fear, all wrapped up in a horrible bubble that is just exuding like a cancer on society. And yet they feel that they are safe in saying this. But they're not. They're breaking the law. What they're saying is horrific. And he wouldn't dare say it about Humza Yousaf, Anasawa, Sadiq Khan. He wouldn't say once that their religion was unsuitable for office. Why? Because Farquharson is a king coward. He's a tiny, tiny cock. Probably hasn't got anything down there. He's like Humza Yousaf. He's smooth at the front and he's shitting himself at the prospect if anyone said that about Humza Yousaf, because he knows that he'd be on a fatwa because he's a cock. And yet, quite safe, I can say it, she's only a girl, she's only Christian, I'm okay, you can do what you like against Christians, and the law won't do a shit about it. We shall see. Coming, the law's got to come for him. Absolutely. Somebody's got to do to him what he does to others, just to make a point. Like that. 3 or 4 times. Every time you see him, just punch him in the gob, allegedly. I'm not saying do that, of course. That'd be wrong. But if someone did repeatedly, every day, 3 times, 4 times a day, until he got the message, and then sloped off under whatever stone he's crawled out from under, that'll do someone like that. I'm done. Stopping. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.